Hi everyone, I'm Terry Stiles. Welcome to Oxford News This Week, and on this edition of Oxford News This Week, can you help? You can. And the luck of the Irish in Leonard. All that and more, the Oxford News begins right now. Throughout the month of March, the Polly Trail and Oxford Addison Youth Assistance will be taking all of your unwanted bottles and cans. According to the Polly Trail manager, Linda Moran, bottle drives for the Polly Trail in 2020 raised nearly $27,000, and this year the drive will be split 50-50 with the Oxford Addison Youth Assistance. The trail will use their share to help cover the cost of matching grants. Moran said she's going after some pretty hefty grants this year to improve parking lots and increase trail repairs. Oxford Addison Youth Assistance will use their money to buy supplies for the kids in the program, as well as the end of the year pizza party. So get those cans over to the Oxford Police Department. Jim?
Not sure if Megan Griffin is going to need to turn in any cans in. She just won the fantasy lottery jackpot this past week in Leonard, earlier in February, I should say. Becoming $100,000 richer, Griffin visited the Lakeville Market and Liquor Convenience Store in Addison Township. She was there on February 5th. She purchased several Fantasy 5 tickets, one of which played the numbers 9, 13, 23, 26, 28. Again, she said she loved the Fantasy 5 game. She said she plays it often, and well, it came in. Scanning several tickets at the store, a message came up on the file claiming that one of my Fantasy 5 tickets, so I guess she said she knew she had won a big prize. She had began scanning tickets on the Michigan Lottery app, realizing that it happened once, confetti with a $100,000 message popping up on the screen. Tried to stay calm since people were around. She said she was excited. She collected her prize from the Michigan Lottery on the 15th of February and plans to use the $100,000 in winnings on the down payment for a brand new house. Good job, Terry.
Good for her. If you've been past the Oxford Township Cemetery lately, you may have noticed how naked it looks. Last month, more than 28 trees were removed, either because they were damaged, diseased, or altogether dead, all posing a hazard to passers-by. And thanks to the International Transmission Company, Michigan, area manager Jim Tetters, some of those trees will be replaced. Last week, the company donated $5,000 to the township to replenish the trees. Tedder said it would be a privilege to cover the cost given what the community has endured as a result of the November 30th Oxford High School tragedy. Thanks, ITC.
The Oxford Lake Orion Downtown Development Authorities are continuing their partnership with the slate of events for March, the new activity of the two organizations. Excited about letterboxing and geocaching, the scavenger hunt that sets up participants out and around to towns to find carved rubber stamps hidden in shops and along street areas. According to the Lake Orion DDA director, the clues out are given out, and when you find the stamp, you stamp in your logbook. Over 20 stamps can be found between Oxford and, of course, Lake Orion, of which can be also found outside. The rest can also be found in various downtown shops. The purpose is actually to draw shoppers into the downtown area with the geocaching. Passports can be picked up at the DDA office. Prizes are Lake Orion and Oxford gift certificates available while supplies last. Sounds like a great idea to promote some business. Terry?
Earlier this month, the VFW donated $5,000 to the Oxford Fire Department as proof of community support for a grant being written by Oxford Township Communications and Grant Manager C.J. Carnacchio. Carnacchio is working to secure the grant from Fork County Community Foundation of Almont. If approved, it will benefit the Safety Begins at Home initiative, which will supply smoke and carbon monoxide alarms free of charge to local Oxford residents of lower income earners or disabilities. In addition to a growing list of community support from the VFW, Curtis Insurance of Oxford has also committed to donations to the cause, and CJ is working on getting more support from the community. Good luck, and I think that's a great program.
We started, Michigan started a campaign about 2-3 years ago. They wanted to canvass, make sure everybody in the state has smoke alarms in their house that work. Oxford, about 10 years ago, did what they call smoke alarm Blitz, where we handed out, I think, somewhere between 200 and 300 smoke alarms into various residents around here, people who didn't have smoke alarms. And now the smoke alarm only lasts 10 years. So those have expired now. So we need to at least try to replenish those. So now we hopefully are going to canvass all the township. This is going to go a long way in helping us purchase those for the smoke alarms for the residents' lives.
Anything to help our community as a whole is well worth the investment. You know, no matter if they're young kids involved or old seniors, they need to be protected. You hate to wake up in the middle of the night, your house is full of smoke, and not realize it. So this will help tremendously to start our campaign to hopefully enlighten other people that maybe they could help also in the project.
Another good story here. Daddy-daughters cut the rug. I guess that earlier at Devil's Ridge Golf Club hosted the Daddy-Daughter Dance. It was organized by the Oxford Township Parks and Rec Department. It was a joint effort, jumping to the music, bumping with dads and daughters. They celebrated a special bond that exists between them. They did the Hokey Pokey, the Macarena, and the Cupid Shuffle. I used to play all those while I DJ'd. They flapped their wings, shook their tail feathers during the chicken dance, and the highlight of the evening was slow dancing to the late 90s tearjerkers, Butterfly Kisses. When the song ended, again, there wasn't a dry eye in the house and melted hearts. Events like this, again, help families make memories that will last a lifetime. Again, it was a great night of smiles, hugs, laughter, and a time spent together that really matter. The rest was just a blur. With that, Dave Kenny will be back with some information, and I guess I'll have some sports. And Terry and I will finish out the news at the end of this week's Oxford News This Week. Stay there, don't go away.
Welcome to Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News. Stellantis is going all in on electric vehicles, but don't expect gasoline-powered version of the Ram Promaster to suddenly disappear. The 2023 Promaster debuted March 9th at the Work Truck Week trade show in Indianapolis and is powered by the next-generation Pentastar V6. It comes with a new segment-exclusive TorqueFlite 9-speed automatic transmission. Ram brand CEO Mike Koval said the optionality with powertrain offerings will be critical for consumers, and so we'll do both. Ram said the latest Promaster offers Level 2 autonomy with class-exclusive active driving assist for hands-on-wheel and eyes-on-road automated driving using lane centering with adaptive cruise control. The system uses multiple sensors, including radars and cameras, to dictate appropriate roads for the technology. The 2023 Promaster is going to be the most tech-advanced Promaster ever with the most safety features ever, and those are obvious needs in the marketplace, says Dave Sowers, head of Ram Commercial Product Marketing. As customer demands evolve and how they use their vehicles, we need to evolve with them. So we have safety features like forward collision mitigation now with pedestrian detection, which is very important. The highly customizable van, the company said, is designed to exceed the demands of both customer that are commercial and up with upfitters. One of the largest growing segments, Sowers said, are companies that use the vans for last-mile delivery, a task that Amazon will require of its fleet of electric Promasters. That is the type of usage that will work very well here, said Sowers. They return to a central terminal every night, which facilitates charging. They're very consistent in their driving cycles throughout the day, so they can have a set range and be able to utilize it within the size of the battery that we're designing for them, and they have consistent loads pretty much every day. There's another customer segment that also appreciates customization component. Those who adhere to the van life movement of living in their vehicles and taking them on adventures. And on the recall front, BMW of North America is recalling more than 917,000 U.S. vehicles for potential issues with the valve heater that could cause the part to overheat, increasing the risk of a fire while driving or soon after when parked. The recall supersedes and expands 2 recalls in 2017 and 2019 by the German automaker that affected more than 740,000 vehicles from the 2007 to 2011 model years and about 184,500 vehicles from the 2006 model year, respectively. Vehicles previously repaired under those 2 recalls will need to go back to a dealership when a new remedy has been determined, according to a NHTSA document released last week. BMW vehicles affected by the expanded recall are certain 2008 to 2013 128i vehicles, 2006 to 2012 3 Series models, 2006 to 2010 5 Series, and 2007 to 2010 X3 SAV vehicles, and 2007 to 2010 X5 SAV vehicles, and 2006 to 2011 Z4 vehicles. In a recall report, BMW said the vehicles contain a positive crankcase ventilation or PCV valve heater that may not have been produced by the supplier to specifications. Part irregularities could lead to a short circuit and cause the PCV valve heater to overheat, increasing the risk of a fire. Hansen said the new remedy had a sufficient inventory of parts. Rephrase that. Hansen said the new remedy and a sufficient inventory of parts are expected by mid-2022. Dealers were notified on March 2nd. Vehicle owners will be sent notification letters starting this month, Hansen said. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and we'll be right back.
Do you love local sports? Whether it's Oxford High School or Parks and Rec, you can buy copies of each game. To purchase your copy, call us at 248-628-9658 or give us an email at manager@occtv.org or talk to us at the next game. Hopefully we'll see you there.
Back with you in Oxford News this week, Oxford Sports. Actually, we're in the middle of a period where there is no Oxford Sports. We'll be covering softball, baseball, and that in the future. Again, we want to thank all the Oxford Sports that we covered over through the fall, the girls basketball, boys basketball, also the bowling team who fared really well. This is kind of a sports story. Grab your growler gear, and it's time to run for beer at the delicious Mud 10K run that kicked off in Oxford. Actually, it already happened by the Michigan Brewery. They had this past week. The run did showcase made beers and pies. They were starting at the Crave Cap Brewing, and then would go out and run along the Pollyant Trail. They were the finisher was at the Homegrown Brewery. Again, want to say all the sponsors, thank you for helping with that. Again, it was bringing another event to Oxford. Homegrown alongside the celebratory beer with the run held a close pie day, which runners get to a slice of Acha's handmade pie. That's you got to have that. That stuff's good in Oxford Township. Since the 10K is a fun run, the route was not closed to traffic. The race is on time. The runners competed at their own pace, and the competition again happened again this past week, raising money for the Oxford School Survivors Fund. A whole bunch of runs through the state at showcase breweries, and then they donate from a 501c. Again, we want to say thank you to everybody that participated in that run. Again, it was a great time, and also raising money for a very worthwhile cause. Anyways, we'll be bringing you sports in the future. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to doing some softball and baseball. Again, my co-broadcaster, Becky Banis, is going to actually show me how to do some baseball and softball. I've never really announced that. Looking forward to that. We're back in a minute. Terry and I will finish it all out, and I believe Dave Kenny has one more segment here on this edition of Oxford News This Week.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. A purple tomato genetically modified to make it rich in the beneficial new pigments found in superfoods, such as blueberries, could soon go on sale in the U.S. A small company called Norfolk Plant Sciences applied for approval last year and is confident of getting the go-ahead. We are optimistic that we will get the approvals that we need, says Eric Ward, an advisor at Norfolk Plant Sciences, during an online presentation on February 22nd. The company hopes to sell seeds to gardeners and supply fresh tomatoes and other tomato products to shops. The purple tomato was created by Kathy Martin at the John Innes Centre in the UK. In 2008, her team reported that mice whose diet was supplemented with purple tomato powder lived nearly 30% longer than those on a standard diet or a diet supplemented with powder from normal tomatoes. A 30% longer lifespan is incredible, she said during the presentation, though of course the results of animal studies don't necessarily apply to people. There are already tomato varieties with purple skins, but the genetically modified purple tomatoes have purple flesh as well. They contain about 10 times more anthocyanins, which are antioxidant pigments. To achieve this, Martin added 2 genes from snapdragon plants and 1 from thale cress. The added genes are active only in the fruits, where they boost the activity of the plant's existing machinery to make anthocyanins. We aim to market these tomatoes as nutritionally enhanced, but not with any specific health claims, said Nathan Pumplin at Norfolk Plant Sciences during the presentation. The higher level of anthocyanins also doubles the shelf life of the tomatoes. That means the purple tomatoes should be more environmentally friendly than comparable varieties. If we can reduce the amount of food waste, that can have a huge impact, says Pumplin. The new tomatoes are being crossed with other varieties to create everything from purple cherry tomatoes to purple beefsteak versions. The taste is determined by the pre-existing varieties, says Pumplin. The reason the tomatoes have never gone on sale is that getting approval for genetically modified crops has been extremely expensive. But in 2019, the U.S. began revising its biotechnology regulatory system to make it easier for products deemed to be low risk to get a scent. This is the first time we have applied for approval to sell the purple tomatoes, said Martin. Things seem to be moving faster now. Under the new rules, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is meant to respond within 180 days. The company is still waiting to hear back formally, even though this deadline recently passed, but Ward says interactions with the agency have been 100% positive. The U.S. has already approved one genetically modified tomato, the Flavor Saver, which went on sale in 1994. However, the company behind it never managed to make a profit and sales ceased. Hopefully that won't apply for the purple tomato. Well, that's it for Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
So we had a lot lot of really cool news this week.
And
We
that's
had a
good. We don't-
winner in the
yeah.
community.
What happened? Oh yeah, of course, in Leonard. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You imagine going in there and buying that, and it's like you
can't-
probably can't believe it.
I-
I'm not a lottery purchaser. Once in a while, I'll get the inkling when it gets up to like amount that you probably will never win, and then I go and buy one ticket and I sit on it, and Saturday night I'm a winner until it gets drawn, and then so.
And then you lost again.
But you got to be happy. She said she goes to this market and good stuff.
And then she gets to get a house, and I'm assuming she'll get a house in our community. So
Yeah,
we'll have a
yeah.
permanent resident. But we do have a resident that, sort of a resident that's moving out of the community I'd like to brag about a little bit.
Okay, who?
Dave Suskey.
He worked here for a while.
Right, I don't know if you remember Dave. He was our sports reporter.
Right.
For about a year and a half, and then he got hired in Marquette.
Up there,
His
way up there.
wife still remained here in Oxford. She's an Oxford grad.
Okay.
And she didn't want to move up to Marquette. But we just heard today that Dave got hired at
Amarillo, yes.
Texas television station as a sports reporter.
Yep, and weekend sports anchor, from what we understand, is supposed to be, and that's close to Dallas, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's exciting for him. So we've had quite a few people move on. We've had
Right.
Jake Goodell,
Right.
who was a camera person here, started here.
Oh, yeah.
And he ended up at Channel 7 and married to...
One of the reporters, I think it was about a year ago. We didn't really touch upon this. Obviously, after October or November, it was not really that important. But we were doing a wall of fame here at the station of people that have went on, and Jake Goodell actually was one of the original cameramen that used to do a lot of the meetings. And then he got hired by Worldwide Soccer. And
Oh,
he went
that's right.
he went around the world. Basically was in every. When he first got the job, I didn't think it sounded all that good, but it was a great job. Came back, worked at Channel 4 for a while, then he went to Channel 7, and now they reside in Lake Orion. And then you said Dave, who's been around.
Dave
We had Alexis.
We have Alexis Ware, who ended up, she went from here to Channel 10 in Lansing, and then she went to Channel 4 in Detroit.
Right.
And now she's in Flint.
At 25, Channel 25, yeah.
25.
And they have her
And
doing
then-
everything.
Who else? Oh, Andy Curtis.
Oh, yeah, Andy Curtis.
Started out here from right from college.
Yeah.
And worked with us for about a year and a half, and he ended up going to Helena,
Right.
Montana. He started out as a part-time sports guy.
right, then he started doing sports,
And now
yeah.
he's an evening 5 o'clock news anchor.
I think
which
you're
is
going to
just
see him on the
incredible.
network someday.
Sure.
And then also we had the one guy who actually was in broadcasting, got out of it,
Kurt
came back for a
Custer.
while, and that was Dave Custer, who works out of the Flint market as well. He did a show here, and I forget, what was the name of that show?
Let's take a walk.
And that was a great show,
Yeah, he
too.
did a great job featuring all the community
Businesses.
Yeah.
Right, but
Right.
anyway, so, bottom line is like, there's not really an outlet
place.
other than your universities, which, that's a great place to go. We used to have Specs Howard, and that kind of went over to Lawrence Tech. And I know we're going
Medina.
in Medina, right?
Right.
But what I'm saying is that the people, once they came here, got launched. 5 people we've already counted, amongst others that have probably went other places as well.
And the thing is, I've heard from every intern that we've had,
Right.
or anybody that came in here, including Andy was not he might have been an intern. He started out as an intern.
I think he did.
And Dave Suskey, we hired him.
Right.
But they've all said they didn't get the hands-on experience through 4 years of college.
Well, right.
That they get here if you want to be on the air or you want to be behind the camera. You do get a lot of editing experience, and you get some filmmaking experience.
Yeah.
But boy, I'm telling you, I'm just so proud of those particular
Oh,
people
no
that
doubt. And like I
everybody
said,
here-
and they do things. Obviously, we go out to the community and they do the meetings.
Yeah.
Meetings,
Everybody.
and they do
Yeah.
the sports, they do the plays and all that, and
Everybody
like,
gives it their all that work in public access.
no doubt.
Because they have to. I
Yeah.
mean, you really have to do not just one thing. You can't just come in and say, well, I want to be an editor. And they do everything.
Right.
And I remember you did a lot of meetings. You've done plenty of meetings in your day.
And I tell you, they're valuable to the community that can't get out. They can see what's going on in their community. Maybe while you're there and you're an intern and you're filming it, it's 9:30 at night and you really want to be home. But basically, it's still a valuable service. I always looked at it this way, that there's somebody watching this that can't get to the meeting, and maybe it makes a difference for the government.
Yep.
Anyways, I know we spend a lot of time. How can they see us? And then I got to thank
You
somebody.
can watch us. There's a number of ways you can watch us. You can go to Roku and connect with us there. You can go to Rumble and connect with us.
Rumble?
Rumble is very much like YouTube.
Oh.
You can go to Facebook. You can go to
YouTube?
Charter Channel 191.
Are we in-
YouTube.
I
as
do
well.
that, I do that.
AT&T Channel 99. You can also catch us on our website.
Wow.
OCCTV.org.
Wow.
Also, if you want to watch Oxford Township Board Meeting, the Village of Oxford Council
Saw
meeting,
that last week.
or Addison Township Board Meeting, all the main board meetings,
Yeah.
we're live streaming them now. And so if you want to keep an eye on our Facebook page, which is Oxford Community Television Facebook,
Right.
you can find out when we're playing, we're doing live streaming.
It came
or
to-
the school board.
And we also use the cable and AT&T as well. So.
Yes, I said.
And then, oh, you did?
191 and
Okay. All I know is
99.
I got notified, and then I had the Village. I didn't even really wasn't even interested in what was being said. I had them on 55-inch television. Actually, and it sounded
you got
good.
to watch the Village meeting.
I did.
That's
I really
fun.
did.
That's really
Anyways, I want to thank Dan Weiss in the back. He always
Yeah.
makes it look good for us in here. And also I want to thank Joe, which I know I saw his name on our credits. He does our editing and stuff like that. Terry
Hewitt.
Yeah, Joe Hewitt.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Stiles, myself. Again, it's this little version of Oxford News this week. We try to bring it to you every week. And hopefully we
Yes.
see some positive stuff, coming in the future.
There always is. Oxford's very positive. Thanks for joining us.